Hello, wrestling fans. Happy Memorial Day today, as we're going to have a very special Memorial Day edition of Rough Cuts, as I'm going to recap Double or Nothing from last night, and an amazing pay-per-view indeed. And we're going to talk a little bit about it today on this edition of Rough Cuts. Before I get started, it is Memorial Day. Want to acknowledge and thank you to the men and women who have served and died for our country to give us our freedoms that we have today. So on this Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day to all of our veterans, our men and women who are proudly currently serving, and those that have passed and died for our country to give us again the freedom that we have here in the US of A. So thank you for serving. Please, it's very, very important that we acknowledge what this day truly means. It's not just a day off from work, it's to acknowledge and remember the freedoms and the choices that we've been given as a result of the hard work and men and women who have served for our country. With that being said, as far as Double or Nothing, remember these are my opinions only. They are not affiliated with Bill Apter or AEW. Let's get to some of the major highlights and things that I thought of the show. The crowd was fairly electric. I mean, now this was their signature event, and in front of a live audience at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, and right next door is where the Jaguars play, and they had their stadium stampede that filtered over into Daly's Place as well. So let's get right to it. The Young Bucks took on Moxley and Kingston for the tag titles. Back and forth, really a lot of moments where I thought that maybe Moxley and Kingston were going to get the belts. I had predicted that I thought Moxley and Kingston were going to get the belts, even though even though that John is leaving soon to be with Renee with her impending pregnancy of the baby coming soon, but it just wasn't meant to be. The Young Bucks threw everything they could at Moxley and Kingston, and unfortunately, there was nothing left for John. And ultimately, that was the end of it. And not after a hard-fought battle. The Young Bucks prove, look, they're like the Kenny Omega. I mean, they are the most dominant facet, in wrestling. And it's going to take a very special tag team to dethrone them. As far as Moxley and Kingston, this is basically just John's way of, saying, I'm going to be leaving for a little bit. And but not without a valiant effort. I mean, to both of them. Where does Kingston go with John leaving? Kingston will have opportunities to go wrestle on the single circuit. There are plenty of opportunities, for him to wrestle until John comes back. I don't think it's the end of their team, but I also think it's not the end of John either. John will be back looking for gold, whether it's the team back up with Kingston or renew his acquaintance with Kenny Omega. It remains to be seen, but look, he's done everything and anything asked of him since he has been signed by AEW. Now it's time for him to help out Renee and get ready to be a dad. He's going to be a dad in a very very short while. So congratulations to both John and Renee on the upcoming due birth of their baby coming soon, and John gets a well-needed break, and then he will be back before you know it. A couple other highlights I want to get into with the card itself. Jungle Boy, how about Jungle Boy? Jungle Boy defeated Christian Cage in their casino battle royal. The surprise was Leo Rush was the Joker. Remember, they had like diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades came in at different intervals, and then the Joker was Lila Rush. Lila Rush did not last at all. I had predicted that it would be Christian Cage that would win and go on to face Kenny Omega down the road, but it turned out to be Jungle Boy. Uh, Hats off to Jungle Boy, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Luke Perry's son. He's really come into his own. I think this was a good way to push young talent, and no no slack there. I mean, Jungle Boy, a proven wrestler himself, and came into his own in this, and not disappointed at all. But in a way, what about Christian? I mean, Christian and Kenny Omega could have blown the roof off the place. What does it do for Jungle Boy to face Kenny Omega down the road? I, I don't think Kenny's losing it to Jungle Boy, but I do believe that it was a better chance for Christian because Christian is there for a reason. But I think also, look, you could still have Christian and Omega at some point. But this really was just really to elevate the young talent, and I think the young talent really shone in this match with Jungle Boy, and he is definitely coming to his own. And it's only a matter of time before he gets a title. I just don't see it right now with Kenny Omega being so hot. But with Christian coming in and Christian elevating him, I think it was fine. It was exciting. Nobody looked bad in it, well, except for Lala Rush, the joke. I mean, he barely lasted. But everybody all did their part, and we had an action-filled pack match. And the Casino Battle Royal, it's an unusual battle royal because you had different suits coming at different times, almost like the Royal Rumble. They all, they're coming in, but they came in groups. So, um, very, very well done. If you had a chance to watch it, you should. It was very well done from beginning to end. Christian and Jungle Boy to the end. A lot of people thought Christian was going to win. He didn't. And Jungle Boy is going to face Kenny Omega or at least get a future shot at the title. Speaking of Kenny Omega, yeah, Orange Cassidy and Pac. Uh, the crowd, very much behind Orange Cassidy in this, and there were a few bright spots in it, and a few moments where you thought that maybe Orange Cassidy, but no, it wasn't going to happen. Kenny Omega is the hottest thing in wrestling right now, as far as on the male side, and the reason being is that he is it, and that's all there is to it. He is it, plain and simple. He is the man, and you cannot deny him. Orange Cassidy did not look bad on us. We could still see a rematch or two on Dynamite or something on TV, um, even before Jungle Boy gets involved. But this was about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega continuing to solidify himself as one of the best in the world. And remember, he has both belts. He has the Impact belt. He had Don Callis in his corner. How do you go wrong? How do you go wrong with that? Uh, Sting. What about Sting? Sting took for 61 years old, I was probably the most in awe tonight to see Sting come out with Darby Allin and do his thing, take some bumps. The crowd was behind him. The crowd at one point was chanting, "You still got it. You still got it. You still got it." And how are you not impressed at what this man is doing at 61 years old? And to take the bumps that he did on the stage and throughout, and then to actually get the pinfall, the decisive win, the submission win. What is that? I mean, 61 years old, and this was his first true major wrestling, actual in-ring action since coming over, and he delivered. Delivered. A plus, 5 stars, 100 out of 100. How do you not be so in awe of what Sting has done and to go out there and do what he did? I, you know, is this, well, okay, he's done it, that's it? No, I don't think so. I think he's shown that he's got a little bit left more in the gas tank, and I expect that we'll see more. Will he continue to team with Darby? Yeah. Would you like to see Sting and Kenny Omega do battle? Yeah. Sting and Christian maybe could have a match. Doesn't have to be for the title. That would be very intriguing. How about two legends, Sting and Christian, can do battle? Plenty of possibility. Sting and Jungle Boy. If Sting gets over Jungle Boy, that would be interesting in itself. So there are some possibilities that can come out of this because Sting looked really, really good in this match. And looking forward to seeing going forward where he goes and what he can continue to do and what Darby Allin's going to do going forward. Be intriguing. But I think this was just about showing that Sting said, I still got it. And he does. And he looked fabulous. So definitely encourage you to take a look at that. Other action I want to talk about, I was kind of disappointed in Lance Archer. Yes, Miro just got the belt, formerly known as Rusev, just got the belt, the TV title or something, and I know he just got it, and why would he lose? I wanted Lance Archer to win because the kid is up and coming. He had Jake in the corner. The fans seem kind of not as into it, and I was thought that maybe Lance Archer would have gotten the title, and that could have set up his thing with Brian Cage, which is what everybody wants to see. Well, both of that backfire. We'll get to that in a second. But very disappointed that Lance Archer did not win the match. I know with Miro just getting it, but still, I was kind of disappointed in Lance Archer's performance. I really didn't think he gave Miro all he could handle. I really did not. I expected a lot better, especially Jake in the corner. He did not deliver the goods that I expected for a title match. And yes, Miro ended up winning and moving forward. There are plenty of opportunities for Miro again, like Christian Cage, Darby Allin. There are Hangman Page, who beat Brian Cage. Which I was disappointed too there because Hangman Page already had a couple of losses recently on TV and did lose to Brian Cage, and now Brian Cage loses to Hangman Page. No disrespect to Hangman winning, but really you got Brian Cage, this elite comer, up and comer with Taz in the corner, and that fell apart. So disappointed a little bit there, but Miro will have plenty of challenges. Miro's gonna have his hands full, with maybe Hangman Page, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, maybe even Orange Cassidy. There are plenty of opportunities for him. So yeah, he won. The crowd didn't seem as into it as I thought. I thought it was kind of, I know it was kind of like almost like Rusev Day, but it just didn't deliver the match that I expected, and kind of disappointed in Archer. Again, with Hangman Page winning over Brian Cage, I mean, that kind of dropped both of them out of the mix for a bit as well. So be interesting to see what Brian Cage and Taz do. They have to regroup as well, and their thing together. No surprise with Cody Rhodes winning the American Dream, especially Memorial Day weekend. No surprise, Cody doing his thing. So there was no shock value in that. We did get a shock value in that Mark Henry made an appearance, and he's going to return. He does want one more match. He looks good. Looks like he dropped some weight. He looked fabulous. He's going to be a coach and an analyst on Rampage, a new show that'll be premiering for AEW. But he does want one more match. Now, with some of the former WWE guys coming in, who knows? Anything's possible. How about him and the Big Show getting the ring? That would be, yeah. Paul White is down there. Gonna have to be something like along those lines. So we'll see what that is. He did not wrestle. He just made an appearance. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in the ring. He does want another match. He's made it clear he does. He'll be an analyst and a coach for AEW as well. So we'll see where that goes. Dr. Baker, yes, the resident Orlando dentist is your new champion. They had a new championship belt. She does get the title, the women's title, and again, she puts on matches after glory. You have to give Dr. Baker probably more credit than anything else, because what she's been through since she signed for 2 years, the injury, reevaluating this whole thing with the injury, becoming a monster female heel, and going out there, and she had one of the most amazing women's televised matches with Thunder Rosa on TV. That has to be considered match of the year for television, maybe even pay-per-view. And she went out there and she beat Shida for the title, which I was not shocked by it, but they delivered again. She just delivered, and both of them delivered. I know Shida's probably going to leave for a bit and take time off. There was talk about it. She'll probably keep the old title belt. Um, Dr. Baker Britt has the new belt, and she's not going to be shortcoming of challengers with Jay Conti. Maybe Chelsea Green goes down there. Thunder Rosa and her could renew her acquaintance. There are plenty of women will be waiting and wanting to have a shot at the new champion. She's also been talking on Twitter, well, where's my action figure? And I kind of tweeted, well, when you get the title. Well, now she's got the title, so maybe now she'll get her action figure. I I still want to see Britt Baker and Tessa Blanchard out of this. I still want to see Britt and Tessa renew their rivalry. I know two heels going at it. I think that Britt would probably get cheered more than Tessa because Tessa, the Blanchard family. I really think so. Um, but I want to see Tessa get signed now with Britt with the title more than anything. And their battles in the indie scene, they're on YouTube. I mean, it would be epic. It would be a main event on TV, pay per view, any way you look at it. Those two will blow the roof off the place. And I want to see it. I hope AEW finally realizes there's a lot of money between Tessa and Britt for sure. But again, right now, Thunder Rosa would probably be the logical next challenger. Maybe a rematch with Shida before she leaves and takes the time off, or maybe not. Chelsea Green could come down when her WWE contract is up. Conti, I mean, there are so many challenges. How about Peyton Royce, Cassie Lee? Her contract is, or her no compete clause ends in July, and she was in the audience, if you haven't noticed. She was in the audience, yes, because her husband is Sean Spears wrestling for the Pinnacle. Could it be? Possibly. That would be interesting. I don't think if Peyton goes down there or Cassie goes down there, she's going without Billy Kay, and I don't think they're going to be heels. I honestly think they're going to be faces because they're going. The crowd is just so into, they everybody knows, and they're going to be so over. They're going to get over his faces like you would not believe. Once Peyton and or Cassie and Billy they sign, and hopefully AEW does sign them, and they get on TV. The crowd's going to go elated. And I would like to see maybe her and Cassie and Britt Baker. That would be a heck of a match for sure. So there are plenty of opportunities for Britt Baker for sure, for certain, no doubt about it. No doubt there is going to be plenty of opportunities. Congratulations to her. Someone tweeted me, "What did you think of Tony Schiavone hugging her? Is Tony Schiavone going to be a heel?" I don't think so. They're really good friends. There's no doubt they're really good friends. Tony has helped Britt from the beginning for the last couple of years, especially when she got injured. There's no storyline here at all, or a romantic storyline, boys and girls. Look, Tony is happily married, grandpa. Britt is with Adam Cole from NXT. They're engaged and all that. There's nobody's going to buy a romantic storyline, but they are very good dear friends. They've been pictured together quite a bit. I don't know. I don't see Tony being a heel. I just think it's just him coming out and very happy for her, considering everything that's happened with her injury and putting on these main event matches. And she really deserved the title more than anything else. I think this was just about two really good friends and has nothing to do with Tony being a heel. And it was a nice feeling. The crowd was very into the match too. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should take a look. The crowd was very much lively into the match overall as well. Um, I may have missed a couple of matches, but we're going to wrap this up with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle. I thought the Pinnacle was going to win this. I know because you could say the dissension with the Inner Circle with Jericho and Hager and and Sammy and all them. It didn't turn out that way. Now it's kind of like even 1-1 as Jericho's group ended up winning. They fought in Jacksonville, and then they ended up in the arena. And got to give Urban Meyer kudos. The Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, they got into in his office. Nice to see Urban Meyer be a tremendous sport and partake a little bit and help out Chris Jericho. That was pretty cool. I thought that was. and part of the in the stadium, and then filter their way over into the arena where it was the inner circle winning, and they get to stay together, and the fans and DALLY'S place chant, singing the Judas song. I mean, that's a feel good song, believe me, and uh, it felt so good. I was kind of like, all right, come on, I know, I'm just waiting for the MGF group to somehow overtake the Pinnacle, but when they didn't, it was like the crowd was just so, you know, going absolutely nuts. I mean, especially like well they were Wednesday night when they were singing along. I mean that's the benefit of having a live crowd with with an event like this, and they closed the show, and great way to close the show. So Jericho's group in hand stays intact. Now they get to have probably another match of some bizarre sorts. It's one on one. I don't know if it's going to be a disbanding type match, but it'll be something. I expect it'll be in September at Full Gear. I expect it along those lines. Definitely worth seeing. It had some highs and lows in it, but I think this was about a celebration of what Jericho and all these guys have done as the inner circle stays together, and they're not going to disband. Now let's see if they can go after some titles and do some things, but maybe Jericho gets MJF, on one. There's some possibilities out of it, but this was just really a feel good way to end the show. There were highs and lows with the crowd, no doubt about it. May have missed a few along the way. But overall, it was definitely worth $50. Someone asked me, "Do you think they broke 125,000 in buys?" I think it'll be very close. Remember, the NBA playoffs were taking shape last night. Also, the hockey playoffs were on. Last night. I know that both those were going on. So there were a lot of rabid NBA fans and hockey fans going. I'm gonna say they probably did around in the 130s on the pay-per-view buys. I don't know what the numbers are right now as of Memorial Day. We'll find out in the next day or two. But I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say they did better than 125. They definitely didn't do 200,000, but I'd say somewhere in the 130s is probably what they did. If it wasn't for the NBA playoffs, and hockey playoffs, they probably would have been. They could have, reached a much higher buy rate. It was definitely worth $50. So if you have not got a chance to see it, I would. It was definitely money well spent, top to bottom. The card was loaded. They missed a few matches, but we're 23 minutes into this, so I wanted to talk about the highs and low highs of it. It was a great card. Kudos to everybody involved. Kudos to Tony Khan putting on a great show. The crowd were into it for a majority of the matches, and cannot go wrong. Yeah, they're moving over on Friday nights, and there are going to be some changes for the best. But their next pay per view is not until September, so we have the summer to look forward to 2 hours of live action. They'll have some great quality TV matches. Looking forward to seeing who else will be coming in. What changes? What we have? You have Tuesday night. You have the YouTube product on Tuesday night as well. So they have opportunities to showcase talent, and looking forward to seeing what lies ahead. Double or Nothing did not disappoint. A all around. I give it a 5-star rating. It was amazing to sit through top to bottom. Don't care how long it was. I was thoroughly entertained and enjoyed. It was money well spent, and I encourage you to watch it. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up here for this edition of Rough Cuts. And for Buddy, may all your matches be a main event as always. And again, thank you to the men and women who serve our country and who died for our country on this Memorial Day. Thank you for the freedoms you have given us. See you next week. We'll be back for another edition of Rough Cuts. Enjoy your Memorial Day.